All right, this is a big day for me and one of my trading challenge students, aka Stock Realist. His name is Ivan. He went on the $12 million yacht with me in the British Virgin Islands, and he is now a six-figure trader after just roughly 2 years. You can see his profit chart. He had one big mistake here where he got a little too over aggressive, but aside from that, it's a straight up uptrend. You know, companies would dream if their stock price rose this gradually. A lot of people criticize me and they say, Tim, out of all your thousands of students, you only have a few millionaires. What's that? That's terrible. You know, that's like real life. The difference being is that what I teach takes time to build your account. Stock Realist Ivan knows his stuff. And yet after 2 years, I mean, this is like a roughly a normal salary. Actually, somebody commented, I wanted people to comment on this. I didn't have time to make a video lesson today because I've been traveling. But this one guy, Leonard, says, 2 years, 100K is nothing. A normal job can give you just salary, LOL. And I said, except a normal job can't grow your profits exponentially now that you have the knowledge as evidenced by these first $100,000 in profits. And this is a very difficult lesson for me to teach. A lot of people, you know, when you cross $1 million, then it's like, okay, this is some serious money. There's no difference, absolutely no difference between Tim Grittani, who has now taken roughly $1,500 of his own money and turned it into $2.1 million in like 4 years, and Ivan, who has made $100,000 in 2 years. They are both on the same trajectory. They have both had losses along the way. Let me show you Tim Grittani's chart. He just recently had a $300,000 loss. And, you know, some people say, oh my God, how can your students have such big losses? Well, even when, oh, it's not Career Runner, 89 is Career Runner. Even when you know, make so much money, you still break rules. I still break rules, even after 15 years. And you need reminders every now and then. Tim Grittani, look at his profit chart. He never had this huge of a loss before, but he had, you know, a very good run, perhaps one of the best runs ever in stock market history from anybody who's actually talked about their success. And the same thing with Ivan. It's okay to have a big loss if it teaches you responsibility and to respect the rules. These big losses are not because like, oh, the pattern just didn't work this time. Oh, I went with the rules and it didn't work. No. The reason for these big losses amongst this perfect uptrend is the fact that these students get a little cocky sometimes. And I get cocky sometimes too. It's not the end of the world. When you make so much money so gradually, so consistently, you get a little cocky and you have to be put back in your place a little bit. And Mr. Market does that nicely. So the important thing though is not to look at it like, oh, 100,000 over 2 years. First of all, most traders lose money. Secondly, it takes time to learn a strategy. It's actually pretty amazing that Ivan has been making money from the get-go. And he primarily, if you look at his trades, and I encourage you to, he primarily just short sells pump and dumps. That's my main, you know, key strategy. And obviously it's not always easy to borrow shares to short. It's not always easy to time it perfectly to be there for the big 50% drop like SOPW. Did he trade SOPW yesterday? I don't know what trade pushed him over the top. No, he trades CANK, AXXE, you know, just a few $100s at a time, and he takes really small positions. You know, he made 167 bucks. He bet $1,800, so he's making nearly 10% in 3 days. And this is the beautiful thing about my strategy. It might not seem like a lot of money, you know, making $100 over 2 or 3 days and $100,000 in 2 years doesn't seem like a lot, but now that he has a bigger account and as he gets more experience and confidence, it's going to keep going. And he's going to keep making money if he respects the rules. And so it's not just 100,000 in 2 years. It's more like even if you lost 100,000 in 2 years, it would still be worth it somehow. Because guess what? Education costs money. You know, if you buy every single one of my DVDs, join my trading challenge, join all the newsletters on Profitly, you're down, what, a few $1,000s in education costs. And yet that education is going to save you tens, hundreds of thousands, and millions, and might make you tens, hundreds, and hundreds of thousands and millions over the years. It's impossible to knock education. It really is. You know, but you have to do it. You have to get educated. Ivan has been going back and forth. I saw on my Instagram today because I highlighted this, and he's answering these questions of people who want to, kind of be like him, and it's really cool that he's answering. People are asking him, how do you make all that money? Can you explain that 20K dump? I'm working towards becoming a student. Just honestly curious because I think I've seen another student make a sudden loss, and I think he's referring to Tim Bertani. He says, yep, big loss from a greedy dump mistake on my part. Ended up being a valuable lesson. I overshorted a low flow uncompensated promotion to make an extra grand, but ended up being a one-man short squeeze for 20K. Lesson learned. Got to get back to where I'm good at, shorting compensated pumps and back up from there. And so he's, he always says it. And this guy's like, should I get a loan? No, don't take out a loan to become a student, okay? Like, work an odd job. Go deliver newspapers. Go do some, mow some lawns. Everything that I do is so affordable for such a small price, it's crazy. What's not affordable is if you don't have the knowledge, if you get destroyed in the market, and forget about making $100,000 over 2 years. The vast majority of traders lose money, and you don't want to be in that situation. I don't want you losing money, and more importantly, I don't want you, to really get down on yourself as too many traders do. I want your chart patterns to look like this. This is phenomenal. I cannot say enough about Ivan, and he is a good guy. We hung out, but more importantly than being a good guy, there's a lot of good guys out there, but you have to be dedicated. And Ivan has watched all of my video lessons. He's in the webinars. He's, shorting outright scams. He's been there for some big dumps. He's made some mistakes along the way. This is a great student, and I'm just so proud to have this. And I want more of you to get in this, kind of groove. I also posted this other email the other day. I posted some pictures from my vacations and my music video and stuff like that. But look at this email. This is from Casey. He's another Trading Challenge student, and he sent me this. And he said, new P&L best today. Please pass along to Tim. Hey, Tim, I know you like to hear from your students when they do well, so I thought I'd let you know I set a new P&L best for one day today, 70,766, and I'm now up 158,000 on the month. He's trading with more money than Ivan, okay? But it doesn't even matter. And I did a whole blog post on this whole thing. It's just absolutely incredible to know that you can make this. Whether you make 100,000 in 2 years, or fast forward 2 years from now, Ivan will probably make 500,000 over the next 2 years, given his knowledge and given the path that he's on. Maybe even $1 million over the next 2 years. I don't know. You can't know exactly how much someone is going to make. All you can do is try and instill that knowledge and these trading rules into them so that they follow them and they're best prepared for trading opportunities. A lot of people say, hey, Tim, how much can I actually make? It totally depends on you. Casey is a different guy, and he's making $70,000 in one day. And he's up 158,000 on the month, and he's a new challenge student. So don't let certain numbers, dissuade you by saying, oh, only 100,000 over 2 years. It's a process, okay? I'm 100% serious. Even if you lost 100,000 over 2 years, somehow you lost it. It doesn't matter. It does not matter in the long run. You can always come back from $100,000. Always, no matter who you are, no matter what your scenario is, you can come back in life when you're down 100,000. And I know that sounds crazy because a lot of you guys have like a few $1,000s, and if you lost like 10,000, you would be so depressed. But if you think about the grand scheme of life, where most likely if you're diligent and you're going to study hard, you're going to make millions, if not tens of millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime. And that's if you work hard, if you study hard, if you're prepared. The vast majority of people won't do that. The vast majority of people might make $1 million in combined salary over their lifetime. 60 years, 70, maybe 50 years times like 40,000. So they'll make like 2 million over their lifetime. But if you really study hard and you get on the right path, and even, again, if you lose 100,000 over 2 years while you're learning and refining your trading techniques, and somehow you're getting better, maybe the year before you lose 100,000, maybe before you lost 300,000, so you're getting better. And even though it's terrible, it's a process, and it's all about getting better, getting more knowledgeable, being in a better position for the rest of your life. You know, I hope that Casey is saving some money. I hope that he's putting some away. I know Ivan is too. So it's good to have savings, but more than just the money. The reason why I bring up how much money I've made and how my students have made, sure, it's to inspire you. Like everybody wants to make $1,000,000. But how do you really brag about someone becoming knowledgeable? How do you brag about someone knowing trading rules that are going to save them and make them money for the rest of their lives? And maybe they can pass it down to their kids and their grandkids. I can't really, post that on Instagram like, oh, this student is so knowledgeable. Look at the lessons he's learned. So I talk about the money because the money, when you make it in the stock market, is a sign that you are on the right path. When you have a profit chart like this, that's not based on, one trade or two trades or a good tip, but on a specific, consistent strategy that when you follow the rules continually yields profits. And when you break the rules, you see the risks too. But over time, when you use a strategy that works, it will change your life. It will make you financially free. You don't have to necessarily get an orange Lamborghini or have a big Miami mansion or be an asshole like I am sometimes with my money. It's true, I am, okay? I've had it too much, I've had it too long. I'm kind of bored with it. I'm very blessed to be able to have so much money, but at some point, in your life, and I hope you all get to this stage where you know that you're gonna make money and it's not a concern. I know a lot of you guys would like to be in that stage, but I cannot emphasize enough, before you get the $100,000, before you get the $1,000,000, you have to study. What I teach is very front end loaded. If you study for a few weeks, if you study for a few months, if you study for a year or two, you will have all of the knowledge you need for the rest of your life. I'm not saying stop studying, because you're always going to have to adapt to changing market conditions and new plays and new news and new kinds of financial instruments that you can trade. But the vast majority of the studying is at first. And so I show you this stock chart to hopefully inspire you, to help you realize that, yeah, you're going to have to put in some time and effort to get this kind of money. And it's better than a salary job, because at a salary job, you are not going to grow your accounts exponentially. You're not going to make $50,000 the first 2 years at a firm and then maybe make $1 million the next year. Like literally, Ivan might make $1 million because he has the knowledge. You're not going to jump from 50,000 to $1 million at a salary job. So it's your choice. You can have your average salary make 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80 or 90,000 per year. If you went to graduate school and you're very smart and you're a lawyer or doctor or something like that, and you make 100 or 120,000, but you're still not going to be able to grow your net worth, your earnings, and your accounts exponentially on any kind of salary job. And that is the downfall. And if you want to be an entrepreneur and start your company, well, guess what? Most small companies fail, just like most traders fail. So what can you do to really get rich? You have to focus on patterns and strategies and businesses where once you get the knowledge, you can grow that exponentially. I took Tim Grattani to the Maldives, his first trip overseas, I think like 2.5 years ago now. And that was when he was just over $100,000 in profits. Now he's over $2 million in profits. So yeah, in his first 2 years, he made roughly 150,000. And then he went to $1 million. And now in 1 year, he's already up $1 million in 2014, even after screwing up. He was up like 1.4, now he's up like 1.1 million. So just understand the exponential possibilities. I know this chart looks very gradual, like, okay, up 10, up 5, up 2, made a mistake, down 20, up 2, up 1, up 2, up 1. But as Ivan becomes more of a veteran and his accounts get bigger and he can take bigger positions, this kind of a graph will go exponential if he sticks with it. At any point you can say, trading is tough. I hate trying to find shares to short. I don't think that's Ivan. I see him post pictures all the time where he's trading from like crazy locations. It's not just me. A lot of you guys like, oh, Tim, you're just trading from crazy places. Look at Ivan. This was one of his offices. He said, this was his office tomorrow, trading by the pool. So get inspired by stock realists, please congratulate Ivan in the comments below this video. This is just awesome. And I want more 6- and 7-figure students. Thanks, guys.